All right, folks. Listen, I just left an event, and so the minute I walked out, the phone exploded, which as it would. This is a big story. And why is it a big story? It's a big story because this knocks another brick out of the wall of loyalty to Donald Trump. All week, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know. But now he talks about them having a delicious secret. The fuck out of here. Delicious secret? That sounds creepy as hell. That sounds so skis bag and so gross. I can hardly imagine. And by the way, I am driving. I've got my eyes out of the cockpit. I know, I know, I know. But I figured this was a moment where you would forgive me for going live because I think the context of this, ask yourself the most simple question of all. Is Donald Trump better or worse off now that the Wall Street Journal has released this piece of information? There is no universe in which he's better off. This is gross. This is nasty. This is an increasing number of data points that show that the Epstein-Trump relationship was close. They were intimate friends. I don't mean they were physically intimate, but they were intimate friends. You don't send somebody else a note about a delicious secret like that unless you are Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? You just don't. It's just gross. The Wall Street Journal, folks, is out there with this piece. My understanding is there's more to come. My understanding from two sources is there's more to come. Trump is going to threaten to sue the Wall Street Journal. They should, even though Rupert owns the Wall Street Journal, Trump should say, if Trump should do it, they should just basically say, bring it on, motherfucker. Bring it on. This is journalism happening in front of your eyes. And I have heard, again, this story has been running around DC for about 36 hours now. Yesterday or day before, I tweeted out, like, the rumor mill in DC is exploding. It's going crazy. And a lot of MAGAs like, oh, shut up. You're just trying to troll us. This story has been out there, that this was coming and that there's more. And here's why Trump is even worse off. This is not being leaked to them by Dan Bongino or Kash Patel or Pam Bondi or the White House. This is coming to them from people who were involved in the investigation at some level. This is coming to them for people who've seen some of these materials. My theory of the case has remained, since the blow up with Bondi, that when Trump got into office, sometime around 1 millisecond after he was sworn in, they sent a team of Trump's lawyers, personal or otherwise, to start examining all of the Epstein evidence that the DOJ and the FBI had. I think they started finding things that concerned them immediately. And I think the field agents who probably had all this material were also concerned when they were reviewing it. I think this is leaking because it's a symptom. There's a fear among the rank and file field agents and the folks who handle this at DOJ that the Trump administration's cover up will soon start destroying evidence. Well, it's out now. And I can tell you one thing about leaks like this. Knowing both the journal and knowing how leaks work, I don't think this is the last chunk you're going to see. I think there will be more to this. This is a very, very bad outcome for Trump. Just as he hoped that today's leak of his medical condition, which, by the way, folks, they leaked that he has medical problems because they wanted to change the subject from Epstein. As interesting as it is, and as obvious as it is, he has medical problems. They leaked something that Trump would hate to have leaked because they knew this was coming. They knew this was happening. They knew this was going to hit them. I suspect that Caroline Leavitt is having a very bad night right now. I suspect that Susie Wiles is having a very bad night right now. I suspect that Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are about to launch a massive witch hunt among the rank and file FBI and DOJ folks, and they're going to lose their minds on a witch hunt trying to find out who leaked this, which will only cause more people to leak. The question was asked in one of my group chats today, is Trump dying about all this physical stuff? Well, in the sense that we're all dying, he's dying too. Um, but what's happening here, I think, in the most compelling way, is that his control over his base is dying right now. Let me tell you, these folks in the MAGA world who've been calling out Trump for trying to cover this up, and there are a lot of them, they have been very nervous that another shoe would drop. They have been very upset that he wasn't being candid with them. Guys, a shoe just dropped. It wasn't just a shoe, it was a size 14 combat boot. It was a massive shoe that just dropped. This is bad for Trump at a level that is unspeakably bad for Trump. And again, it's not the end. It's a wonderful secret between the two of them. It's a wonderful secret. Listen, when I was a younger man, chasing tail was not a secret. Something you did. It was not something you treated as some sort of dark promise. Occam's razor, as I like to say, is sharp and true. This is the kind of birthday card that he sent to Epstein that would strike me. A secret between these two men would be something nasty, something grotesque, something horrible. We'll never know because Jeffrey Epstein is dead, dead. And he was found dead in his prison cell. But Donald Trump still knows. Trump's lawyers may know. But I got to tell you, this wonderful secret between these two men has made this problem much, much worse. The witch hunt they're going to launch is going to make it even worse. The craziness right now of they managed to keep Bongino, Patel, and Bondi silent since last Friday. None of those people right now are having an easy time. None of those people right now are having any fun. Carolyn Levitt's having no fun at all. I may come back a little later and talk more about this when I have some time to make some phone calls. I just came out of an event, so I literally came out of the event, popped on my phone, and it was an explosion. So look, he and Jeffrey Epstein have a secret. You think that secret was oh, we're going to Cipriani tonight? Oh, we're going to we're going to this to X or Y restaurant tonight? That's not a secret. The secret almost certainly had to do with the women that Jeffrey Epstein procured for many, many wealthy men. And most likely procured for Donald Trump. Bad turn of events for Trump world, folks. Very, very, very tough turn of events. We're going to have a lot more to talk about. Again, I am driving right now. I'm going to try to do something else later tonight, I think. If not, I'm traveling tomorrow. I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go start on this road trip for tomorrow. Renee and I are headed to a fundraiser up in New York. And yeah, if you're Donald Trump right now, if you're a Donald Trump staffer right now, you do not want to be in the Oval. You do not want to be in the residence. You do not want to be within 20 miles of the sky. I guarantee you, he is crawling the walls. I'm sure the truthing tonight is going to get crazy town. I'm sure the truthing is going to be fantastically crazy. But if you're a MAGA who held the line in the last week and said Trump needs to talk about Epstein, ask yourself, were you right? Because honestly, you were right. All these folks in the MAGA movement who I disagree with on almost every possible political angle, they were right that Trump needed to talk about Epstein. They were right there needed to be truth told about Epstein. They were right that Donald Trump and Epstein had things in common that needed to be exposed and that Trump had to come clean. They were right when they said that Jeffrey Epstein was a human trafficker and a sexual abuser and a monster and a pedophile. They were right to want answers. And now Mike Johnson's trying to cover it up in the House. That's his latest play. The MAGA media, I haven't turned on Fox yet, which I try not to do as a rule. The MAGA media is going to lose their minds. This is going to kick off the Google search trend again. And somehow, sorry, MAGA guys, you're not going to get the auto pen to trend. Stop trying to make auto pen a thing. It's not a thing. Epstein is a thing. The cover up got worse tonight. The evidence got stickier and stinkier and nastier. This is going to hurt. And I'm here for it. Anyway, folks, I got to pop. I'm going to try to come back later. I can't guarantee it. I'll try to come back later. Let me make some phone calls to some reporters and some sources of mine and get a little more context on where this story is at. I do hear from several people, have heard from several people already, that there's more to come on this story. And I will tell you, like I said, knowing the human behavior, once they launch the witch hunt, the leaks will get even better and more juicy. All right, folks. Thanks as always. Appreciate you subscribing, tuning in, listening. Talk to you again later. Bye-bye.